second round of the NZ Formula Libre Series. With me today I've got well-known two-time World Touring Car Champion, former New Zealand Grand Prix winner, a bit of an ace behind the wheel of a Formula Atlantic, Paul Radisich. G'day Paul.
Great to see you this morning.
You were here yesterday watching the Atlantics go. I mean, I've been trying to convince you to get your car out and come for ages, but what did you think of watching the guys go?
Oh look, a great field of cars, and even Tony Quinn's out there with the Reynard. Actually, I won Reynard's first Formula Atlantic race anywhere in the world, so it was at Bay Park. You know, learned how to try and race Kenny Smith and, you know, Craig Baird and all the internationals at the time. So, but you know, getting back to here, great field of cars. Great to see them, you know, out there running, doing this stuff.
Actually, talking to Kenny Smith and Craig Baird, we've got Kenny Smith here in Craig Baird's old car. Unfortunately, he's having a few issues, but hopefully we'll get that cured. But reckon we can tempt you out next year?
Well, look, I've got the Grand Prix winning Ralt that I won in '88, and an '89, '90 Swift. So it's just getting the time to get to them.
Fair enough. Hey, look, thanks very much for joining us, Paul. We really appreciate having you on board.
So 1986 Ralt RT20 was the first year that they ran the European Formula 3000 Championship, so the car was built for that. Turned up in Australia as a Formula Holden, was raced by Richard Davison in Australia for 4 or 5 years, and then Kenny purchased the car from there, and I purchased it off Kenny. Kenny put a few young guns through his car when he owned it. Kenny drove it a few times himself, and the likes of Matt Halliday and Jason Leifting both did races in the car. I've owned it for about 16 years, and I'm enjoying it as much now as I ever have. It's not an easy car to drive, bumps and jumps and kicks around. It's a ground effect car, so it's quite amazing. The faster you go into the corners, the more it seems to stick.
In qualifying, Alan Barker took pole from the rapid Junos of Dean McCarroll and David Glasson. Race 1 saw pole sitter Barker running second to McCarroll before dropping out early with a limp motor issue that would go on to plague him all weekend. Kenny Smith also came in early, still chasing fueling issues. Everyone was giving it heaps, and there were battles going on right through the field. McCarroll spun, giving Glasson the lead, which he took to the flag, followed by McCarroll, who'd worked his way up the field, and Robert Hume and the NME Nemesis.
So this is a Juno sports racing car. It's an SSE. It's a 2008 car powered by a Honda K20A engine. It's 2 litre. So the other Junos have a combination of 3.5 litre V6s. There's a Ford 2 litre in there. There's a 2.5 litre Honda. So a fair mix of engines sit in these cars. They were built for endurance racing, and they support quite a wide range of configurations. I've raced sports cars in the New Zealand Sports Car Championship for the last 4 seasons. I've won the Pro Sport class the last 2 seasons in a Radical SR3, so that's the up to 2 litre cars, and sports cars have always been my thing. There's a great deal of satisfaction in having a car that doesn't have a lot of horsepower but allows you to set incredibly good lap times. So this is my second race meeting in this vehicle. My goal is to finish every race and come out of it with a big smile on my face every time.
The highlight of race 2 was 2 tight battles. First, the lead between Dean McCarroll and David Glasson's Junos. Behind them, Smith had fixed his fueling issue, and track owner Tony Quinn swapped places and raced tightly throughout. So tightly that Quinn left his front winglet behind at the dipper. Kenny eventually got the better of Quinn and took second place. McCarroll dropped out late in the race with a stuck throttle. Glasson took the win.
Driving a 1986 Van Diemen historic Formula Ford. Running in the historic Formula Ford and the Formula Libre. I started go-karting when I was around 6. Had a bit of a break, then came back when I was 12, and then a year in that, then jumped into this one. Well, I want to run in the TRS series, maybe a few more meetings in this, jump in the Ralt, then yeah, just hopefully get something like a Formula Renault, learn the aero, because I'm only 14, so I have to be 16 to go on the TRS series, so year in that, learn all that and jump straight in it. Well, I've had huge help from Kenny Smith. He's helped me with all the racecraft, the gear ratios. I've also had huge help from STA, a major sponsor, Sedgwick and Shock and Auto. Without them, probably wouldn't be at the track.
This is the M8F McLaren, built in 1971 by Trojan in UK. It's a customer car, 1971 build, so the design was 70. It's a Reynolds block, which is all aluminium block, 8.3 litre, 850 horsepower. We're running in the Libre races this weekend, which is with all sorts and everything. It's a bit of a fun class, but there's a few cars out there that are a little bit slower than us. And of course this is a really wide car, and it most probably scares a few of the guys that we're passing, because it's, you know, it's all grunt, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, I get out of it almost laughing because I've had so much fun in it.
The final race was a cracker, with Quinn and Smith out front fighting for the lead, followed by McCarroll and Glasson's Juno. Unfortunately, McCarroll was the first casualty with an engine issue. The heat of the day seemed to be getting to people as a number of cars went off. And then this happened. Suzuki driver Jeff Sharp and Formula Ford driver Jason Leifting were unhurt, but this brought out the safety car. Smith, who'd just taken the lead from Quinn, then had his car stall and failed to restart just after they came across the accident. The race was completed under safety car, and the officials then took the results from the lap before. This meant Tony Quinn took the race and second overall for the weekend. Second for the race and third for the weekend was Kenny Smith, followed by the fast Juno of David Glasson, who took the overall win for the round. Legends of Bathurst driver John Bow was on hand to hand out the trophies.